It's Curly Proverbs, and I'm coming at you today with a review on the Jerome Russell temporary hairsprays for colouring your hair. This was a much requested video after I did the It's My Ray Ray makeup look. Quite a few people wanted to know what I thought about this Jerome Russell purple, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to throw in the copper one as well. So they've got a more natural line called the Be Natural, which is where this is from, and they've got the Be Wild, which is where this is from. So you've got like pinks and purples and really vivid colours like that. What I'm going to say first off is the colour payback is fantastic. I'm going to insert some footage of the It's My Ray Ray makeup look that I did, just so that you can see what the colour looked like going on. So the colour was really very vivid, and actually normally to get purple colours to show up in your hair, you normally need to put some bleach in your hair and then apply the purple for it to show on dark hair. So I was really impressed that I could skip all of that and just go in and put purple in my hair and it would be visible. Otherwise, normally it just tends to look like a hint of purple or a tint of purple if you try and do it with colour on dark hair. So normally you have to lift off your dark colour and you need to make it blonde and then add on the purple, as I've already said. But I was really impressed with the colour. What I will say as far as the colour is, it didn't last for very long. And this applies for the Be Natural range as well. I used this copper. I actually wore it to African London Fashion Week, and literally by the time I got to it, so in the 3 hours after I put it into my hair, it had already pretty much faded. Like, I couldn't really see it. So really it is a matter of lasting an hour or two. I know some people have reviewed it on YouTube and said that it lasted for a whole day or a whole week till they washed it out. That really was not my experience at all, and my hair was not particularly greasy or dirty or anything. I wore this on freshly washed hair in a fresh twist out. Thank you, plane that decides to fly by right as I'm filming. Thank you. That's what you get for being near Heathrow Airport. Okay, so literally this would be great if you were gonna wear it to go to a party and it was fancy dress, and you know, people are going to have a few drinks and they're not going to notice it's completely faded after 3 hours. Or, you know, if you just want to have like a vivid look for a short amount of time, it is fantastic. The colour payoff is great. And if you're in the States, it's only going to cost you about $5 to get it. Some are saying that you can get it for about $4 to $5. You can certainly get it from Amazon. I will put the link below for you. And you can get it from beauty supply stores as well. So for my US counterparts, it might be something you want to do for $5. It's not bad. But in order to get this delivered to me, it cost me just over £8 to purchase and nearly £4 to get it shipped over. So in essence, it cost me £12. So I think for something that's going to cost you £12, you're going to want to get at least a day of wear out of it, or, you know, preferably till you wash it out. And this did not give me that at all. And literally, I did the It's My Ray Ray video out here in the studio at the back, and then by the time I got into the house and I was having my lunch, it pretty much had started to become more like a tint and then faded. What I might actually do, just to kind of show you about the colour, is spray it onto my hair at the end of this and then show you how it goes. I'll literally tell you the amount of hours that has passed so you can see the colour and if it stayed in my hair. The other thing is, it removed the natural shine of my hair. So as you guys know, I do the whole deep conditioning and take very good care of my hair, and it has a natural shine to it. And I found that as soon as I sprayed it on, it mattified the look of my hair. It made it look slightly dry. I wouldn't say that I would describe it as more dry than matte. I would say it made it look matte and slightly dry. So I could imagine that if it made my hair look like that on the first application, if I was at a party and I wanted to top it up, then my hair would be feeling crispy. This morning my hair felt slightly crispy because I did wear it yesterday to African London Fashion Week, and today it did feel quite dry, but as I put in my leave-in and kind of played around with it a bit, it stopped feeling as crispy. So it does definitely have a drying effect on the hair. The other thing that you would want to consider is the smell. Literally really fumey. I started to get like a slight headache. I had to make sure that I was completely ventilated. Please excuse the planes. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about the planes. But I had to make sure that when you're quite done, literally all day, every day. Literally, if you're going to be using this, you need to make sure that your area is very well ventilated. In fact, I would advise you, if it's at all possible, to apply it to your hair outdoors because it is quite fumey. I would say that the purple color was more fumey than the copper color, although they were both pretty fumey. And I'm going to show you the color of the copper as I sprayed it on yesterday. It was very vivid, and I kind of felt like as soon as I sprayed it on that I regretted spraying it on because it just looked quite unnatural. And if you're kind of looking to make your hair look like you've got like highlights in, you've got to be very careful with your technique, be very light-handed, take a strand out at a time and spray it. My fingers were covered in the paint at the end, but luckily it really didn't take much when I washed it out. What was really good was, because it faded so quickly, it very quickly started to look more natural, and then I was able to kind of intertwine it with my hair to make it look a bit more natural. But trust me, by the time I actually got to the fashion show, it was completely faded. So I was really disappointed. There was one more thing I wanted to say about this product, and that was that one bottle barely coloured my whole hair. It literally, you'll see in the It's My Ray Ray video that I ran out, it was more the front of my hair that was purple than the back. I would suggest that if you have a substantial length of hair, that you would want to purchase two, because you wouldn't want to leave yourself high and dry if you're going to use it. And the other thing is, with this, obviously I was just using it more as a highlighter. I wasn't kind of trying to make all of my hair purple. So this actually feels like quite heavy and quite full, and I'm guessing they're about a similar amount. Yeah, they're both 100 ml, 100 gram, 3.5 fluid ounces. So yeah, this one seems to have lasted me longer because obviously I was only using it as a highlight. So I hope that answered your questions as to what I thought about the Jerome Russell. I'm not sure that I would repurchase it that often. I do love the idea of playing with my hair color, and I do think that it looks so cool when, you know, you're turn up for something and you've got blue hair and nobody's expecting it. That does look really cool. Maybe I might purchase the odd one, but not as much as I was hoping to. I was hoping to buy the whole line and just literally use them all the time, but I don't think that I'm going to purchase them as often as I want to. Maybe if I have an event, just before I actually go to the event, or maybe when I'm at the event, I'll go to the loo quickly, cover my clothes with something and then spray my hair, which is risky. It does actually stain, and it one more thing to say, it did actually stain my neck, and it did actually stain my clothing. It was very, for me, I was able to wash it out of my clothing. I'm not going to say that it's going to wash out of everybody's clothing because it depends on your material, but I was able to wash it out no problem, and I was able to get it off my skin no problem. But it did stain my skin, and it coats it like an eyeshadow. It's like really vivid, like you used MAC Fix Plus and then you put some pigment on it. It's like really noticeable. So that is the other thing. Be really mindful that it doesn't stain. So on the whole, I guess it's in a sense a bit of a negative review, but I would like to repurchase it, but just not as often as I was going to. And you know, I'll use it very close to the time that I would be seen by people, and you know, going to a party or whatever it is I'm going to. So I hope that helps you in your decision as to whether or not you're going to actually purchase the Jerome Russell sprays. And I'm so excited because I'm going to be doing my first ever Q&A. Yay! Spirit fingers or something. So yeah, I would love to hear your questions, because you leave me questions down below. It really doesn't have to do with hair. In fact, I prefer it if it wasn't to do with hair. You could ask me about babies, and you could ask me about social stuff, you could ask me about work, you can ask me about food, whatever, just kind of so that we can like have a dialogue, you can get to know me and so on. And also, if you have tried the Jerome Russell, I'm really keen to know what your opinion is on this, because I've heard several YouTubers say that it lasted them for the week until they washed their hair, or at least lasted them for the day, and that was not my experience. So I want to know if there's something's just up with my hair, if anyone else has had the experience of using this and just being like, what, it's kind of faded already. And also, is there anything you could advise me that would be really good to use for colouring my hair? Because I do want to experiment with it. I know some people have talked about using hair chalk. Has anybody actually used hair chalk? How does the colour payback work? Is it any good, or is it kind of like a hint of colour? I'm really keen to know, because I do want to play around with some colour, and I'm probably going to have some of that up my sleeve. You might come back and see a remedy with coloured hair sometime soon. Maybe that's a hint, maybe it's not. Make of it what you will. And I'm just gonna go into a clip of me. I'm just gonna go into a clip of me spraying this on my hair, and I'm gonna also show you what it's like as the hours pass, as to what the color looks like. Sorry, this video's been all over the place. I've kind of been all over the place in my mind a lot recently. Just the exhaustion of being a parent. Okay, peace. Do y'all see how vivid that color is? But the only thing I would say is, which you can't see right now, it looks really chalky. Oh, really chalky. And it smells really strong. But it's so vivid. Guys, so the time is 12:06, and I just want to show you when I touch it if the color comes off on my fingers. Just gonna try a fresh hand. The color definitely comes off. I don't know if you guys can see that. It definitely comes off. That was the finger that I used just now. It comes off, and I think that's a part of the reason why it actually fades so quickly. Everything and anything it comes into contact with, probably including the air, makes it fade. But it is a really pretty, really vivid color, as you can see. We're out shopping. Yeah, out shopping with Mummy.
Mommy?
Guys, I'm out here sweating like a sinner in church. It is so hot right now out in Southall. I've been doing some shopping. I just wanted to come at you and show you that pretty much, as you can see, there is pretty much no color left.
Hey beauties, it's Curly Proverbs, just checking in again, just to show you, you can still see some hints. It looks like it's like a highlight at this point in the day, but it's faded incredibly. I sprayed loads and loads and loads on as compared to last time so that I would give it a chance of the colour staying, and it just looks like beautiful highlights. I love the colour, but it's not the initial colour. It's greatly faded, as I'm sure you can appreciate, and some of this brown is left over from the henna treatments I have. Sorry, gotta chase my baby.
So guys, I hope you found that useful, and it's kind of giving you a guidance as to whether or not you're going to buy this colour. And yeah, you've seen how it fades throughout the day and the hours, and yeah, post.